Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stay Camp Live for June 16th, 2020. Today we have Darnell with us as part of our Stay Camp Live activity. He's going to be doing a little bit of painting with us. Actually, it's not Bob Ross, it's Darnell, so it's all good. But let's go through a rundown of what's happening last week here at Stay Camp.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Julia.
And today we are doing the Back Porch Garden Part 1. In your activity book, you should turn to page 20.
Give people a little look at what's happening at our regular, at our camp facility, and then also start up a conversation about all things camp.
Hi, my name is Cedric.
I'm a gummy bear. They're not bad, but they have a really interesting smell.
So today we are going to be making oobleck, and I have a little bit of it right here.
Ooh.
It's definitely going to be very messy. So you want to be in a space where you're going to be able to make a mess and wear clothes that you can get messy in.
Hello Shore Forest, it's Serenity, and today we are becoming tower engineers. So we are making the famous Tango Tower. As you guys can see here, I've already made it. If you guys want to make Tango Tower also, make sure you watch the video. And yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Let's take a look at what activities and events we do here at camp. But as you can see right here, we use a video program called WeVideo to help us create some of our activities videos for you. But let's go right ahead to our week view. That's not it. There we go. No, what happened? There it is. All right. So on today, as you see right now, we're doing at 10:15. We've got Let's Paint with Not Bob Ross here in just a few minutes. At 10:30 is our boys cabin group meeting, 4th grade, with Cedric, Kelly, and Michael. At 6 p.m. is that girls cabin group meeting for 4th grade, again with Cedric, Kelly, and Michael. And these are students that have just completed the 4th grade. And then this evening, our story time activity of Neverending Story, read chapter 15, read by Isaiah. So hopefully you'll join us with that. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. Today we have on the air with us, Not Bob Ross. Hey, Darnell. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. So what are you working on for us today?
Today I decided to do a little tri-pick. A tri-pick is just a painting of 3.
Okay.
Or a carving of 3. And they're normally brought together by hinges. So I found this piece of board when I went to the art board, and I thought, let's try to paint on that. And my inspiration for this is sort of like a starry night. I want everything to look kind of whimsical. So I decided to use a sponge, since a sponge gives me that swirly look.
Oh.
And I didn't pre-season the board, so I didn't put paint on it beforehand.
Okay. No worries. So what ends up happening when you do that is that some of the paint absorbs differently in different places, right?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So what is your favorite piece of artwork that you've seen?
Um. Oh, that is a very, very good question.
Yeah.
I know I saw the pearl, the girl in the pearl, which
The
is
girl with
pretty
the pearl
awesome.
necklace.
But yes, but the one that I really liked about it was a recreation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a recreation of it, and it was a dark skinned young lady with like contrasting colors behind her.
Mm.
Her pearl earring was black, so it had like a really nice look to it.
That's
Ooh,
really
that
neat.
just looks nasty. There we go.
So I'm gonna put this other view up here too. All right. So this is a good time for questions from the audience. So if you have any questions for Darnell, put them in the chat window on the YouTube channel, and we'll go ahead and add those questions to the mix. For
With a little
me,
bit of hot water.
what was your first year at camp? When was your first summer?
My first summer was 2009. It was '09. It was
Oh,
a very
nine.
memorable year for me.
Why?
Um, well, it was my first year. Also, it was the the year where we dealt with H1N1, which is the swine flu.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
yeah, so it allowed us to bond with the kids on a
Mm-hmm.
different level. So like you get to see the kids a little bit more because little things that came about because of it. But
Yeah.
like one thing that I remembered about that summer was me thinking, "Oh my God, I am never returning." And then have one little kid look at me and say, "Are you coming back next year?" Yes, yeah, I'll be back. So I
That
think
is,
it was like that first initial feeling wasn't what I was actually feeling. It was just overthinking of the situation.
that's the best feeling in the world. I've been doing this for a little bit, and it's just so heartwarming to hear a camper ask you to come back, and then your whole world and position and all of this changes. It's really interesting to see how that happens. All right, so we got our first question. I'll put it up on the screen. Darnell, how many different job titles have you had at camp?
That is a really, really good question. I started off as a shire counselor in 2009. Um, I ended up becoming the arts director. Um, After the arts director, I went back to being a counselor because I thought like, yeah, I really want to do it again. And so I ended up becoming a journey and adventure counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Then I village director. Then I became the year-round part-time staff that plans all of that stuff for them, that do their year-round meetings. After that, I became, I want to say, the program coordinator.
There's a lot of job titles in there, Darnell. I don't know if I've been keeping track.
Yeah, after the program coordinator is this job, which is the operations manager.
Oh, well, fantastic. I think we've been on a similar journey in terms of number of jobs, so that's pretty fun. It's just any way you can get involved, right? Just to stay connected with what we're doing.
Yes.
Got another one. Looks like Kelly asked, what title would you give this painting?
um. Hmm. That's a very good question. I really like to try to paint calm things. I cannot paint people. So like, I really try to do things that are like sort of calming, and I really want to go whimsical with this. So, who is the most whimsical person I know that worked at Sherwood Forest?
Ooh, that's a good question for yourself.
And we can just name the painting after them. I think Foster.
Foster.
Is it
Foster
Orlando
Foster has a sense of whimsy. I could see that.
Yeah.
I'll have to make sure we share this with him so he can agree with us. All right. Looks like we got another one. What has been your favorite village to work in?
Someone's trying to get me in trouble. That is great. Um, Actually, that is a really hard answer question for me to
Mm-hmm.
like answer. Mainly because like my '09 kids are like in college now.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what I mean? Like they're in college now. So I really want to say like while I bonded with Journey and Adventure on a different level, like you're able to show them like the reality of the world and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's certain things that like you don't hold back from them or whatnot, You let them go through those emotions, especially when it comes to like planning their trips and stuff. Like things don't always go through, you know what I mean? So like that's part of learning like this is how the world works. But with like the Shire kids, you really want to keep them like grounded in the mind of a kid. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of give them doses of reality, but also let them know that you don't have to worry about this just yet, so don't worry about it. Those type of things. So
I totally agree. I think when I think about Shire, I think introduce them to the world of camp and what it is for themselves. And I think about Sycamore. I think how do we work well together? And think about Shantoa. I think about how do we challenge each other to work better together. And Shantoa, how do we then take that, and then our leadership village, our summit village, how do we take those life lessons and skills and then translate them to the world?
yeah.
So I think this is a really good sense of our program. Let's see what else we got. Looks like Aaliyah disagrees. She would say that Rainy is the most whimsical. I would totally agree. Um, and we got another one. Have you ever taken a year off from camp?
No,
No.
no.
Um,
'09 all the way through. I've not taken a year off. You can't even convince me to take a year off, so don't try.
I
That
think
that was like one thing that like actually happened throughout my lifetime where like people were just like, "Oh, you keep going back to that camp. Like, don't you think it's time to look for new avenues along that nature?" But I don't think they understand unless they actually like come here and you get to work with the kids. Like, it's really easy to want to make this a career.
yes, yeah. No, I totally agree. I think I took one summer off, and it was 2006. And even in that summer that I took off, I still came and volunteered. Like there was a thunderstorm that came through camp and knocked down a bunch of trees. I called and asked if they needed any help getting the camp reset up, and I drove down to camp to go spend time and help. And ended up spending like a week doing that. So like even when the time that I tried to step away, I'm still involved. So here we go. Another good question. What is your favorite camp activity?
Bro, that is you guys are coming with like really easy questions that are hard to answer.
Yeah. The simplest things are the hardest things.
Yeah, what is my favorite camp activity? This is going to sound really cliche, but out of every activity that I possibly ran or came up with, um, the tower. The tower is just always the best activity. Um, I really doubted myself my first year here on like whether or not I can like complete the tower or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like oh no, I can't do that. And then after a little pressure, it was like, keep going, you can make it, you can make it. And I just went straight to the top of the tower. And I'm thinking to myself like that was really simple. Have you ever seen the video of the lady trying to give the otter a bath? And the otter is just like crying. "Mm, mm, mm."
Yeah, yeah.
And the otter hits the water he started moving and swimming and like, oh, this is second nature. That's how I felt like with the tower, just doubting myself and then doing it, completing it, and it was like, oh, this is not hard at all. And then after a while, I became like the person who would Spider-Man up the tower.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. All right, so tell us about a camper who has impacted you the most. You don't have now. Maybe let's try and remove the name so that that person can maybe have some anonymity, and tell us about the characteristics of a camper that impacts you the most, like that type of personality, the personality that you feel like you have learned the most from.
First of all,
Mm-hmm.
all of the campers have impacted me in some sort of way.
Yeah.
So you all are loved. I do not pick and choose favorites, as we know this, Kelly. See, if I had to pick like one camper who I feel like left a real impression on me, it's one camper who, when he came here, everything was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. It's
Mhm.
bugs. It's no.
Yeah.
No. And one day he saw me sewing in the art barn. So let me rewind a little bit. He also had a mentality of where men do this, women do this.
Yeah, very, very much kind of like these generalized expectations of what gender is.
Yeah. And then he saw me sewing, and then he was like, "You're not a sew?" I was like, "Yeah, I learned this in school when I was in like 7th grade or something." It's like some things you just keep on to. And then the next year when he came back, he was like, "Oh man, look what I
Darnell, we can't hear you.
hear me. Can you hear me now?"
Yeah, you just cut out there for a second. Can you repeat that last statement?
So like now he has his own clothing stuff and he sews and it's just the thought of like you can always change the way that you think. You know what I mean? So that was impactful because it also made me sit back and just think like, all right, maybe you shouldn't judge real quick. Get to know first.
Yeah.
You know. I
Those
still
are-
throw that shade though.
I know you throw it at me every day. So that was really cool. I guess conversely, in that same kind of vein, how has Sherwood helped you grow as a person?
Oh my goodness. I would say I was completely lost beforehand. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Life was just fun. I I was just getting out here in the world and I really wanted to see what else there was, besides like school. Like
Yeah.
not to say I was terrible at school, I was okay at it. Just at that time in my life it wasn't where my brain was sitting at.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working here and working with kids gave me an idea of like what I wanted to do
Yeah.
because I felt like this would have been something nice to have when I was a kid. This would have been something really cool to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And to let you know, one of my recording devices is about to die, which is weird because I completely charged this. So I'm going to switch from my little camera just to my big camera.
Okay.
Keep him running until he decides that he wants to quit. Oh, we have to drop it. Like this, like so.
All right. So your camera is going to die. Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah.
Cool.
To tell you all about this, a little bit more about this painting,
Yeah.
let me remove that one because it's really disturbing. So instead, I'll give you a good view of the woods until the phone dies.
I'll just remove that one from the screen.
But it's so nice. Look at that. Rotting tree. This to show you nature. So you guys can't really tell. But like if you look at that on your screen,
Mm-hmm.
it looks depth and stuff that's in here. That's budget pretty nice. But when you look up close, it just sort of like odd little what color permutation variations. It's just so weird and different. I don't know. Any more?
So, how many wigs have you worn while you've been at camp? Like over the course of your time at camp, how many different wigs have you worn?
Ooh.
Like, cause I know that you stole a few from my theaters, my stage that were like packaged away to use, and I didn't know that you wore them. So I'd like to know what the final number is myself. I could think of like 6 on the top of my head.
Oh, I'm just going to cap it off at 10. There's been a lot of wigs worn on top of his dome. And I would say that's all because of you, Kareem.
Oh, it's my fault?
Yeah, that is you, my friend.
Oh, I have made you wear a few wigs every now and again.
Yeah. You and a lot of, musicals and plays.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I am definitely the play type of guy. I like musicals, but I can't sing worth a lick.
And your volume is a little low. I think it's because you're turned away from the camera a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. And that bird is super chirping.
That is like the best thing about camp. You hear all of those birds.
So what is your funniest camp story?
Mm. My funniest camp story. I don't know. I have a lot of good memories here at camp. It's really hard to pick one story that is like that stands out. I think it could be the first time I heard the story about the eagle.
Oh, the first time you heard the eagle and the eagle story, Eagle Dove?
Yeah, because Kareem, like, so you guys might not know, I've known Kareem before I started working here at Sherwood 4,
Yeah.
and I used to just show up at his house sometime.
Yes, he would just show up on my porch and be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
And then leave. But like, oh wait, where was I going with this?
You were telling the story about the eagle versus dove.
Oh yeah, so for me knowing Kareem is like a really reserved guy. You know, like when I first saw him do the Tell the Eagle story, it was just hilarious to me because that was my first time seeing Kareem just being extremely like goof. And I think that's like one of the good things about camp. It brings that out of normal everyday self. It's literally just goof.
Yeah, you get to try on different personalities, or express things that you don't normally express because society doesn't deem it appropriate for you to act that way at a particular juncture. So I think that's really cool about being at camp.
Yeah.
And Rachel says her dogs are getting very riled up by those birds in the background, so might want to cut it out.
Hey, bird, cut that out. I don't think he wants to cut it.
No. Got another one. Do you mix the paints together or do you make new ones? Do you mix the paints together to make new ones? I'll see if I can read.
Yeah. So I've like on these sponges, I've been adding a little dollop of baby paint, and then some of them like multicolored dollops of paint. So I'm gonna put some green on this. This is I cannot see that word. Potato? Potato green. Is that actually a word? No. I'm gonna hit it up with a little bit of light green off. I'm just gonna put him in the middle of that, and there was some yellow up. We're gonna put him next to that white. And hopefully we come up with some trees. I'm starting to realize that, yeah, it actually worked.
That's awesome.
Snap. So you can tell in that little spot, it put like 3 different colors on it. So like those trees behind it. But yeah. Oh, this is like very relaxing.
Yeah. What is your favorite time of day at camp?
Sleep.
Bedtime.
My schedule at camp is one of the most unusual schedules. Like I'm up around before 6. I have to be up way before 6 to start my duty every day.
Mm-hmm.
And times out of 10, I probably won't end up going to bed till around 10. So I guess my favorite time of the day, any day that anytime I could sneak in a nap.
I enjoy a good siesta myself. I think the time period after lunch and before third and fourth period of the day, or second or third, I don't know what, the afternoon stuff. It's that
Like
lull
Henry-
in the day where nothing else is going on and everybody's chilled out. It's the best time in the world.
So like we keep our kids busy all day with activity, and we try to feed them well. So it gets like you won't believe how quickly your energy goes down, and you just need to take a nap.
Yeah.
Which is why we have siesta, and siesta is normally a really good time to just either read a book or go to sleep.
So I think we may have missed this before. What's the inspiration for the painting again?
Oh, whimsy.
Whimsy. Yes.
And
And
I
we were-
don't know if I'm doing very good with the whimsy. Maybe with the cloud like that.
I can see the whimsy in the clouds. I can see the whimsy in the trees. The trees seem like they're blowing all around. I can see
my
that.
knee.
Kelly says, what is your favorite color?
Oh. You might catch me wearing a lot of blue on any other day, which is weird, because gray is my favorite color. And
Oh.
something about gray, I feel like anything and everything can go.
And Kelly says that that's actually her favorite color as well. I like gray. We can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, so what was happening was that camera finally died, and that's where the volume was picking up from.
Oh, got it.
I just realized. My favorite color is gray.
Mhm.
I wear a lot of blues, but gray is like that one color that I don't know. It goes with everything and anything.
It is. It is really versatile color. All right, my man. So any final thoughts for us? Oh, let me see what's going on with this mountain.
Mount
Is that Lee Mountain?
Lee Mountain. I knew you were going to say Lee. Is that our closest mountain around here?
It is the one that we've been able to hike to. I'm not sure if that trail is open back up.
Oh, I wish it. There used to be like a
Evening activity.
different camp that you can take.
Mm-hmm. So like we would take kids up to Lee Mountain with a sack lunch. They sit there and watch the sunset, and then they come back to go to bed. The way I described it didn't make it sound as interesting, but it was a really interesting hike.
It didn't. And then the Bat Cave too, right?
We used to do the Wick Cave. I think it's Wick's Cave, excuse me. But we stopped going there because of the fungus that was getting on the bats from human exposure.
Darn humans.
What are the different countries that you've met people through camp that used to work here? Some of the different countries
asked
that
that
people have worked
question?
here from.
Who asked that question? Let's start with let's stick with here in the Americas, I guess. So Brazil, I think we met.
We have Brazil, yeah.
Mexico, Brazil, Puerto Rico. No, but that's not in that. Yeah, I'm trying to do this continental and look and trying to picture it all in my head. It's just it's one thing or another. Why do I feel like Guatemala?
We've had somebody from Guatemala, yeah. I'll help you.
Canada.
Canada, that's right. A few Canadians.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and our from Canada to British person, Sandy.
Yes.
Which, oh my God, Sandy. I miss Sandy a lot. That was like my best time, like doing yoga. Was waking up to do yoga with Sandy at 6 a.m. and her just like, you have to poke your bum out. I was like, if me, an adult, is finding this hilarious, what are the kids? What are the kids laughing? South Africa, I believe.
Yeah, South Africa. We've had a couple. There were like 2 or 3 from South Africa in recent years. Australia, New Zealand,
Wales, the UK,
yep,
Ireland, Scotland.
Germany.
Some of my favorite people come from Scotland. James, aka Landfill.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah. Hungary.
Oh,
Hungary.
yeah. There were the couple of girls that were from Budapest, right?
Oh my god. Is Budapest still a country?
Budapest is a city in Hungary.
Oh, see, I don't know these. See, I heard somewhere that Americans are terrible at geography. We are terrible at geography. Good Lord. Germany.
Yeah, that was Hannah, right?
Yes. Hannah. Oh my god. A lot of other places that is just completely escaping my mind.
That's okay. The suggestion was made that you should make a tie-dye painting next time.
Ooh, that actually, I like that idea because I'm starting to like. Okay, so if you tell me an idea or you're trying to explain an idea to me, in my head while you're talking, I'm trying to work through it. So in just that quick moment, I saw how I can do this with sponges and literally just lay it flat, do some circles of some paint, keep a space of white in between it, and then just pull a sponge out.
Oh, yeah.
And then that'll sort of give you your tie-dye effect. Oh, okay, yeah, that actually doesn't sound bad.
All right, so we're actually going to be running out of time here. It's almost 11 o'clock. I want to make sure that our campers have time to do other things before their next activity. Any parting words for the audience?
Drink plenty of water. In the words of Lyndon, water, water, water.
Water, water, water. Well, thank you so much, Darnell. This has been great. Thanks all you listeners out there on Stay Camp Live. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Also, it's very, very hot under this wig.